Hello and welcome to the Poke and Knuckle Show, where we take a bite out of the movies, literally. So this week we are going to discuss The Godfather.
Oh yes.
And the fact battle begins immediately. Right, Pokey, you go first.
Okay, that was quick. So in the DVD commentary for The Godfather 2, Francis Ford Coppola claimed that this was the first numbered sequel in film history altogether. This is in fact wrong, as it's only the first American sequel that has a number in the title. The actual first was called Quatermass 2 and was made in the UK in 1957. Now it's your turn.
Interesting fact. No, it's not.
I think this is very interesting.
Leave the gun, take the cannoli. This line is improvised. Richard Castellano, or Peter Clemenza, better known, he completely improvised this line. So, fact number one.
Yes, I have another fact about the second movie, actually, because it was the first actual sequel to win an Academy Award for Best Picture, and to this day, only two movies have succeeded in this, the first being The Godfather 2, and the second one being...
Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings, exactly.
Yeah.
And to this date, it's also the only Best Picture Oscar winner with a Roman numeral in its title.
Speaking of Oscars, so... Brando declined the Oscars.
Yes.
Because it was a political statement. And such a statement that we're talking about it now, it was the treatment of Indian Americans. That is the reason why he declined it. Also interesting on the Oscar, Robert De Niro and Brando won the Oscar for the same character. This is the first time it ever happened in history. Don Vito.
Cool thing. You might know that the movie is directed by Francis Ford Coppola, but do you know that this traditional Sicilian hat that is worn in the movie by Michael's bodyguards, for instance, is called a Coppola?
Cool. That's
yes.
Actually, since we've started this channel, that is probably the most interesting thing you've said so far.
Believe me, there are more things coming.
So Brando, when he used to shoot and film, he used to have cue cards, and the producers were so peed off with this. They're just like, how could we implement this? They would put it behind lamps, they'd put it behind cameras, they would even get extras to put it behind their back, and they would just stand back facing. And Brando, because he wanted to sound more natural, and the way he looked, like, because the cue card was behind the camera, audiences always thought he was looking into the camera. So this was quite cool. He did it throughout, actually. It wasn't just Godfather.
Throughout his career, I think in a Superman movie or something, they had to plaster the entire wall. But this is a method that many people did, like Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. They never rehearsed anything, because they said if they tried it out before, what they do on set and on camera is not genuine anymore. So, but do you know that during the production of The Godfather, there was a lot of mooning going on in the crew?
Really?
Yes. You know what mooning is?
Yes, I know what mooning is.
Can you please explain to our fellow viewers?
I'm not going to show it. I thought he was like, you're going to show it. I'm not going to show it. It's when you put your buttocks on a glass. Normally it's done when you're on the back of the school bus going on a school trip and doing it to other people. But clearly here it was done on the production set. Yes,
and it was started by James Caan and Robert Duvall, who did it the first time when they mooned Coppola, Marlon Brando, and Salvatore Cosito. And actually, Marlon Brando was later called the Moon Champion of the production. Brando him freaking self. And even Al Pacino did it in a scene where he sat behind a desk. And everyone was looking at his shirt in this one scene, so he just took off his pants and then mooned everybody.
Living the dream?
Yes,
living the dream.
I don't know, I think it's kind of more a nightmare.
We will see.
Yes.
We will have to have a chat with Al Pacino about this.
Yes, definitely. He will.
So, Don Vito, fourth fact, Don Vito is based on a real-life mobster. His name is Joseph Valachi, and they found him in investigations, old movie reels from investigations, or crime investigations, obviously, from 1950. So it was based on a real mobster.
Speaking of real mobsters, my number one favorite fact about The Godfather is about Gianni Russo, an actor who made his acting debut in this film. He had no experience in acting,
Really?
but he had connections to the real-life organized crime. And this is how he secured the role. And when he was first introduced to Marlon Brando, Brando was furious about this casting, thinking that he wanted to act opposite a different actor and not someone, because he didn't know this.
Ridiculous.
So Russo went to Marlon Brando and then said, according to sources, he said, "If you ever talk to me like that again, or if you ever stand in the way of me getting this role again, I'm going to break you apart and suck on your heart." And Marlon Brando thought this was brilliant because he in fact thought that Russo was acting, which in fact he was not. He really threatened Marlon Brando to kill him and suck on his heart.
He made an offer he couldn't refuse.
But this, I think this is, and there is an interview where Russo himself admits doing all of this on YouTube.
Super.
So this, I think this is the most interesting thing about The Godfather. But do you have more facts about
I
the
have
franchise?
one. It's my
yes,
last one.
right.
What are you talking about? Right. So we all know the director, but it wasn't just the director. It was his whole family.
Yes.
In the movie, his sister was Connie. His daughter Sophia was the daughter. She was playing one of the lead roles. And what was it? His father was a pianist.
Come on!
I have to say it. And
Come on!
he played some of the soundtracks in the movies. And he appeared as an extra in one of the Italian restaurants. So, I think that's quite cool. Those are the facts. Tell us which one is the best.
And tell us your facts. If you know some other Godfather facts that we did not cover in this video, please drop them in the comments below. If you liked this video, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to make sure you're notified whenever we put up more crap like this. And have a great evening. We'll see you guys again next week, same time, same station, here on the Pork and Knuckles Show.
Take care. Hello and welcome to the Pork and Knuckles Show, where we take a bite out of the movies, literally. So this month's segment is the great movie Godfather, and of course it's going to be Peter Clemenza's meatballs. But we're going to put a twist to it. We're not actually going to make the meatballs, we're going to use the same mincemeat, similar kind of a recipe, and see what we can do. I have heated up some olive oil. I am now going to put 4 cardamoms, let them fry, 5 cloves, 6, apparently I can't count, and 2 1-inch cinnamon sticks, because this is gonna flavor up the oil. Porky, chop up some onions, chop up some garlic. What we'll do here is, once these are semi-fried, it'll take literally a minute, max. Chop the onions in there, brown the onions, put the mincemeat in. We're using beef. I think beef has a lot of fat and it is so good. We're gonna fry the beef until it changes color. After this, what we're going to do is, well, make the tomato sauce. Tomato sauce is tomato paste. Then we have some, I think you can see it here, basil, black pepper, sugar and salt. That's it. It is such a simple recipe. Put it into the tomato sauce, mix it. Once the meat is done, put the tomato sauce in, mix it and let it cook. Maybe 10 minutes for the meat, 20 minutes for the tomato sauce. And when you put in the tomato sauce, put in hot water into your spaghetti get that stuff boiling, get that stuff sorted as well. And I think within 20-25 minutes, you're going to have Peter Clemenza's spaghetti meatballs. Whack in the meat, whack in the meat.
I will.
Now it's time to put in our tomato sauce. Alright, so we've evaporated the water. This is pure sauce now. The spaghetti is done. Pokey, sort the spaghetti out.
Wait, first I would like to have a bit of olive oil in the pot the spaghettis were cooked. Quickly heat them up in the olive oil again so that they don't stick when we put them on the plates. Here you go. Here you go.
Okay.
Do the magic.
No, you need more. You need more.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you need more.
Yes. Thank you.
That is it. Pokey, show the
Very
camera.
much.
Show the camera.
We will show this if I don't burn my fingers.
That is alright.
That is some good spaghetti sauce.
That sound means, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, leave a comment if you think our recipe can improve. Press the bell button, ding, and
Ding!
see you next week. Take care.
Hello and welcome to the Pork and Knuckle Show, where we take a bite out of the movies. Literally. And after talking about Jane Austen's Mafia, we're now actually going to talk about a movie that is The Godfather. It's a Godfather parody and ripoff that really includes the Don, Marlon Brando himself. And I really would love to know how these meetings went so that
why did he agree to it?
Took on this
How
role.
did he agree to it? And it's just like they keep making references to say, oh, you look like the guy from... And every time they're about to say Godfather, they don't say the word Godfather. And the movie's got... Okay, Brando's a Don, fine.
Yes, surprising.
He's in the exports and imports business. He has... What is the word? Gourmet club. And they eat exotic animals. The movie's based around this dude who is going to pick up a package. Turns out to be a Komodo dragon. Who does that? But anyway, they're doing this, and then it turns out at the end... Oh, spoiler alert, it's too late now. Also, this month is about Godfather, also too late. It turns out at the end, everything was a scam, and they just scammed rich people for money who wanted to eat exotic animals. It wasn't even exotic. What was the meal? The meal was, I think, turkey and chicken put together, and they called it Komodo dragon or something. I was just like, right, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's something
that
that we definitely don't do. So join us next week at the Pork and Knuckle Show.
We don't know where to get
when we
reptiles
eat
from.
Zebra.
Yeah, no, zebra for sure. Let's eat a
It's
zebra.
just a horse that we paint before
Superb.
the food. But the thing is,
We
the
don't
movie.
eat horses. We don't eat horses.
No.
We don't eat horses.
Not now.
Do
So,
continue.
the movie was written and directed, by the way, by Andrew Bergman, who also wrote the movie Striptease, starring Demi Moore, and who made his writing debut in 1974 when he wrote the story for the Mel Brooks film Blazing Saddles, one of the all-time greatest comedies that was then scripted by Mel Brooks, Richard freaking Pryor, and some more people. But the thing is, what I love the most is not even Marlon Brando returns from The Godfather. There is one other person who acted in The Godfather that returns for this film, and that's Johnny Russo. He still appeared in this film
But when I watched it, it was just like, okay, there's Don Vito and there's Ferris Bueller. What are they doing together? And what is going on? What was this mix? It worked. It was okay.
It was actually nice to watch.
But Mafia was better as a parody. This was okay. I think I've now run out of things to say about this because I pretty much summed it up. It was just a kid.
I still have one thing because I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact how did these production meetings between Bergman and Brando went. So what I think is that Bergman said, "Hey, Mr. Brando, you made one of the most iconic performances with The Godfather. Why don't we just take this role and piss on it?"
Lovely.
That's all we have
time for.
Yes.
That's all we have time for.
Yeah.
If you want to know more, call Marlon Brando.
Please don't piss on this video.
Do not do that.
Leave your comments below if you have other things to say about The Freshman. By the way, I kind of enjoyed this video, this film. It's a nice thing. It's a nice thing to watch on a rainy Sunday afternoon. If you just want to go, WTF did I just watch? This is Don Vito cooking, or not actually cooking, rare animals.
This is it. He's just scamming people for cooking $350,000 a meal.
The idea alone,
for chicken and turkey.
The idea is so absurd. This idea is so WTF. I'm so glad that this piece of junk movie exists. I really enjoyed watching it. Watch as well, and leave us a comment below what you think of the movie, what you think of this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Click the bell to make sure you're notified when we put up more crap like this. And see you guys again in the future. Same time, same station next week for another episode of the Pork and Knuckle Show.
Take care.
Hello and welcome to the Pork and Knuckle Show, where we take a bite out of the movies. Literally. And today, we're going to sink our teeth into the mafia. But not the good kind of mafia like we had with the Godfather movies, no. This time, we're actually talking about the parody movie Mafia that was, and it was so forgettable that I have to look this up, written and directed by Jim Abrams, one of the masterminds behind brilliant parody movies, such as the Airplane movies, such as the Naked Gun movies. Everything with Leslie Nielsen has Zucker, Abrams, and Zucker, the two Zucker brothers, and Jim Abrams attached to it. And this movie, well, he also made.
I loved it. I thought it was a brilliant parody.
Really?
Absolutely brilliant. The parody was so good. It was completely taking the mick out of The Godfather. I mean, they had a snakes and ladder game going on. That was superb. The cake scene is mental. That's all I'm going to say is the cake scene. Just watch the cake scene, even if you don't watch the movie. It is mental. And then in the casino, classic, they have a casino in there, and there's a murderer running a casino, and instead of people gambling, spoiler alert, instead of people gambling, they're just giving money to the dealer. They're not even rolling the dice. They're just like, get the wallet out, here you go, thanks for playing, good day, go to the next table and just giving the money. This is so funny. Actually, it's a great parody.
Yes, I have to agree with you. It is a great parody of the Godfather movies, especially since it's just called Jane Austen's Mafia.
What the hell? In Godfather, they didn't use the word mafia, so they used the word mafia. You knew straight away it's going to be good.
This is one of the fast-paced style parody comedies, just like Friedberg and Seltzer are currently doing, but not as bad and not as horrendous to watch. Jim Abrams still is one of the masterminds behind this sort of humor, and he packs in so many jokes in such a fast
and it's quick as well. Pace. And it's good. You don't have to watch The Godfather for 17 hours or 23 hours, whatever. Just watch this.
The film lasts 84 minutes, and
so good.
6 of those 84 minutes are credits.
It's superb.
But still, the movie was a letdown to me, actually, because in comparison to the other movies that Abrams did, it's such a huge letdown. It is not as funny as the Leslie Nielsen stuff. The jokes are not as spot on. The humor is more dumb that you are used to with these movies.
If you watch The Godfather and you watch this as a parody of it,
yes, it's still good.
It fits.
It is still good.
North Korea made an appearance. Dictators made an appearance. Was there a Forrest Gump that made an appearance? Some Forrest Gump.
Everything appeared.
What is going on here? It's just completely right. There was a man in a, I can't describe it, lizard kind of reptilian suit running around. I was just like, okay, that is mental. The pool scene was mental.
For reasons.
It was wicked. Watch it. This is a funny, light-hearted film. It's not long, and it's quite funny. It's actually a funny movie to watch. Watch it with your girlfriend if you have one. Watch it with your boyfriend if you have one. If you're single, still watch it.
The thing is, you can quote, actually, you can describe the entire movie with a famous quote from the movie Rubber. A movie, by the way, about
I know, Rubber.
A tire that kills people.
Yes.
The opening monologue. Why did this and that happen? No reason. This is the entire explanation for Mafia. Why did this happen? No reason. There is just an assortment of jokes that keeps you
one after the other,
keeps you giggling and laughing all the way through. However, it is still not as funny as other things that the same guy did, especially for the other underground tip of this video. I would recommend an Italian parody of The Silence of the Lambs, which is called The Silence of the Hams, Il Silenzio dei Prosciutto, which is a title. Only this title is funnier than Mafia, which packs in even more jokes, over 1,000 jokes in its short running time. I still have to say, I like this movie, but it's still the worst of its kind,
I think we've said enough on this topic now. We've said enough. Thank you for watching. I don't know what else to say. Thank you for watching. You've lasted this long. Congrats. Give yourself a high five and watch the movie now.
And definitely subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to make sure you're notified when we put up another video, because we're also going to talk about different parodies, such as another parody for The Godfather.
Interesting news. See you next week.
Next time.
Take care.
Hello and welcome to the Pork and Knuckle Show, where we take a bite out of the movies. Literally. And today, we're gonna sink our teeth into one of the biggest and longest film franchises of all time. Francis Ford Coppola's masterpiece, that is The Godfather.
Yes, up until 1 and 2. 3 was not a masterpiece.
No, 3 was a masterpiece of crap.
It was complete nonsense. Like, why did they do it? But, yeah. So, we're already
Let's start with the start.
Let's start with the start. Number 1. Okay, the first scene is the most famous scene, probably, I think, ever in cinema.
Yes.
Cinematic, Hollywood, Bollywood, Lollywood, whatever history. It's just cool. Yeah. When I was actually playing the Godfather game on PlayStation 2, I remember.
Yes, it was
a
nice
great game.
It
was a nice game. And that scene came on, and I was just like, cool. So I decided I didn't do it, because I didn't have a tux back then. But I wish I did. I would have played the game wearing a tux. You gotta give respect to the game.
Have some style.
Yeah, definitely, because it was a great game. The movie was superb. The first movie had the classic scenes, had the brilliant lines. The 4 characters that we loved. Sonny was superb. Michael, Don, of course. I just love Clemenza. I don't know why, but Peter Clemenza, I absolutely love him. I think he is so
I just
good.
love him for his name. I think he has
Clemenza, what a great name.
What a brilliant
name.
So, but do you know the thing about this opening shot of the first movie? It was actually achieved with a computer-controlled zoom lens that was actually used only the second time in all of Hollywood. The first usage being in 1972 in Silent Running.
Oh, interesting. No.
Yes, it is. But do you also know that the Paramount executive bought the rights to Mario Puzo's The Godfather before the book was even finished? At the time, the rights were bought by Paramount. It was only a 20-page outline. And what I find the most fascinating is, for one thing, the word mafia is never said in the first movie. It's only mentioned a couple of times in the sequels, which has actually a reason. because the actual real-life mafia threatened the production, and the so-called Italian-American Civil Rights League started a campaign to stop the film from actually being made, and they met the producer of the film and made an agreement that the words mafia and Cosa Nostra may not be used in the film, and the producer, Albert Ruddy, even gave the real-life mobsters the permission to view the unfinished work print of the film to give permission to the release.
That's cool.
Which is... Even at one point, the car of some guy in the production was followed by the actual mafia, and then the next day they found the car with shot out windows and a note that basically said, "Shut down production now," which is something where you think, oh my god, that happened in the 70s, that will never happen again today. You remember the story about the TV show Narcos that was filmed, where the real-life location scout of the series was found murdered.
Really?
While obviously treading territory that he was not supposed to tread.
But then that's interesting because, you know, the first Godfather's classic. Actually, I like the second Godfather better than the first one.
Yes, me too.
Even though the baptism scene is epic, the irony and all of that is superb. Second one, because the first one was so good, to make the second one equally even better, just the expectancy that was created was superb. The third one completely was a disgrace. They should never have made it. I mean, it's not the Godfather way to be flashy. It's about being subtle. It's about staying within the family. Well, classic line, never let anyone outside the family know what you're thinking. But Godfather 3, he's got a political agenda. The guy, what is he trying to be, a president? I don't know. He's like, why is he in the Vatican? Don Vito would not be doing any of this. He'll get people to do this for him.
The only question I asked myself while watching The Godfather 3 is, why is this thing so boring?
And it's so long. Why is it so long?
It is so... Actually, Francis Ford Coppola had the regulation by Paramount that the third one may not be longer than 2 hours and 20 minutes, but it was a drag.
It was a drag.
The only thing, but we would need to go back to the second one actually, is that the Vatican Bank was formerly the owner of Paramount Pictures.
Oh, really?
Yes, and then, of course, they refused entry to the film crew, so they couldn't even shoot in the real Vatican. But what I hate about The Godfather 3 so much is these discussions between Al Pacino and these Vatican guys is
like
so long.
Cardinals and just like, who cares?
And then you
just want mafia and killing and like Sonny being shot at a petrol station or whatever.
Yeah, and then you have the scene at the opera. I don't like the opera.
That's like...
I can't watch the opera. And the opera they used...
would not go to a place like this. He would be in his villa in Sicily, where he had a heart attack, and just chilling out. And that's what the style of Godfather is. To be subtle. Not to be flashy.
Yeah.
High jackets, expensive suits. I don't know if there was Armani back then. Probably used Armani. The Rolexes. I don't know. Just didn't. It wasn't right.
The thing is, the opera that they show in the third movie is called the Cavalleria Rusticana, which is a very short, I think, only 1 hour opera. So I think we must have seen 2/3 of the entire goddamn thing in The Godfather 3 because that scene was so long.
Oh my god! It's never ending.
The saddest thing about, I mean, we said Robert De Niro, I think, is what made the second movie this great.
Well, his role of Don Vito was, was epic.
Robert De Niro, by the way, despite his name, doesn't actually speak Italian. He lived in Italy for, I think, 3 months before production began to acquaint himself especially of the Sicilian accent that he's using in the film. But still, I think, personally, the best actor that is in the entire
Peter Clemenza. Tom
trilogy.
Was good as well.
No, he's actually not in the trilogy because he died before the third movie was made. It's called Joe Spinell, and he played Willie Cicci, and Joe Spinell is a phenomenal actor. You have to watch a movie that he was in. It's called Maniac.
Okay.
It's a psychological thriller where he skins and basically scalps women to put the scalps on his puppets. And this is a masterpiece. Joe Spinell is the type of actor that could have had a great career if he didn't die that early, sadly.
Well, I think we can safely say and try and wrap it up that Godfather 1 is classic, 2 is better than 1, 3 is not a movie.
3 is
It's not a movie.
garbage.
It's a disgrace. That's let us know.
And even let's
If you like the third one.
let's just put one thing as the final statement of this video, because the third one was actually recently re-edited by Francis Ford Coppola, which made it the third edit of the movie. There was the theatrical version, then there was an even longer director's definitive cut, and then came the coda version that actually trimmed the movie back down to close to its original theatrical runtime, but leaving in many of the scenes that were added for the director's cut in the first place, but editing out other things. And even though the movies sometimes differ in between 20 to 30 minutes of material, none of these versions are good.
That's the end of that.
I watched all 3 cuts
the verdict
of the
is
film.
out. The verdict
all
is out.
3 are
the verdict
boring.
is out. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching.
Yes.
You've lasted this long. Congratulations. It's not as long as The Godfather, so well done.
We could make
well
this
done.
video last like 160 minutes.
Right, we can have an opera in the background and just sit there and talk to...
Yeah, or we could do the logical
The
thing
Pope.
and not.
That's it. Let's end it.
Let's end it. We'll see you guys again on the next Pork and Knuckle Show. If you liked this video for whatever reason, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell to make sure you're notified whenever we put up another video just like this. And hopefully we'll see you guys again next week, same time, same station, for the next episode.
Take care.
Take care.